All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Make sure everybody could hear me. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope you guys are having an amazing morning and hope you had a great trading day yesterday. So happy Friday as we finish another week of trading. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good. All right, guys. Let's get to what we had yesterday. Again, another great day. We had tons of stocks that were available for a possible watch list. I think out of all the stocks we had yesterday, you could have pulled out three really good main watch lists, right? So again, just a lot of stuff on there. You have to be a little picky and kind of be able to dissect the list a little bit and kind of pick off which one kind of fit your criteria based on pricing, volume, and just overall, even history. Sometimes you even have to pick based on history. What you could do is if you have an example of a stock that you traded well in the past and one that you haven't, you can actually put the one that you traded well before. So that's another way of also fine tuning your watch list. And Norm, me and you do that all the time. If we have a stock that we just have not a
Yeah.
great experience on, we just chop it, right? Chop it and look at something else. All right, so let's get to what we had yesterday. Start off here with SIG. Let's get our 5 minute. SIG was amazing. This one was actually really, really nice. Popped up pretty good here. Let's get the 1 minute also so you can see it. Here we go. Yep. So Sig here again popped up pretty aggressively on this 1 minute. So again, it created a nice five though. That's too big. Let's get this better here. So it created a nice five. Not the best opening range breakup. Right? I like this candle to be a little more aggressive. But what I like about Sig, look at the level it was taken off from. Right. Once it got above 28.93, you knew it was going to run. That's the level we had in the pre-market, and it did pop up perfectly after that. So again, this is why I don't like to trade that first 1 minute, that second minute, because again, it could just be very aggressive, and you kind of saw that here on this opening range. Eventually, this settled down, did pop up again above this 28.93, and look how beautifully this thing went all the way up to what the previous day close now is at 30.03. So again, pretty nice trade there on SIG. Then from there, huge rejection came all the way back down to the VWAP, and then even the low, almost the low of the day, not quite. But again, a very nice trading range here on SIG. XPO was one that was also very nice. Too opened up too strong. It kind of, well, not even with that much volume, but just look at the drop on the 5 minute. It didn't really give us a good open range breakdown on the five because it just got too extended. I did take this one here for sure. Took some off, then got stopped out at break even again once, and then got back into it again. And then I just remember Andrew's voice was in my head. If a stock takes too long to break down, most likely it's going to squeeze up. And I got out for a small loss here. So kind of break even on the trade here. But then just like we've seen before, if a stock takes too long to break down, it was right in this area. Look at the squeeze that happens all the way back up to VWAP. I really should have flipped my position, but again, that takes a different type of trading skill to do that. So again, this was nice. XPO, if you was able to take this reversal back up to VWAP. Then from here, just got a little choppy. Did a nice double top here, and it looked like it was going to head back down, and it did lose the VWAP. But at that point, I was actually looking to get into a trade here as well. The problem with it was the spread. The spread sometimes was a little bit aggressive. Also, the price action was not all there with the volume just being so low early on in the morning. So that was XPO again. Beautiful opening range breakdown if you took it on the second or third minute here, but it just had no volume. Right, so it's tough to take a trade like that when you don't really have the volume right at the open. Next, we had SDC. SDC, again, a beautiful opening range breakup here. Also, another one that was breaking out of a level that we had here, this 1437. Same thing here. I love when these stocks have a pre-market level, and at the open, they kind of test that level and break above it. So you can see here, 5 minute open range would have been nice. Also, the 1 minute gives you a very nice breakout. What I like about this breakout, we see this so often. It sells off at the beginning, comes back up, holds above the VWAP, and then you're now waiting for that first 5 minute opening range breakup to settle in. It closes very strong right at that level. Right, so even if you're not convinced just yet to get in the 5 minute, the next candle, as soon as it starts heading back up, that's a great indication to go long. You see the volume coming in here, and it's a beautiful pop over to 1490. Then from there, sold off, kind of like what last stocks did. They sold off once they hit that resistance area, came back down below the VWAP, and it turned to a beautiful trend trade towards the bottom. Now, how to take this trade? In class 4, we talk about this. Once it breaks down below the VWAP, if you're looking for a false VWAP breakout or just a trend trade, what you want to do is you don't want to take the trade here. You can if you want to anticipate the move, but the better entry is the test of the VWAP. Most likely these stocks, when they break through a resistance or a level through a moving average, they want to come back and retest. This is a great entry, better risk to reward. And you can see how beautifully this thing just drops on some numbers here, heading on that nice, beautiful 9 EMA all the way down to 13. So that was a great trade there. BYND, guys, again, another one that's another day, aggressive day. It's just very tough to trade. This is a stock that, although it looks nice now, the price action on this was just, it's just brutal. You got to be very, very cautious with this one. Huge drop right at the open, then a takeoff all the way up to 114. If you're looking at the moves, this is 109 and this is 114. So it kind of tells you how aggressive this stock is trading. In a matter of 4 minutes, it does from 109 to 114. So again, you got to be very careful with it. It's been trading very, very active. I like a lot of stocks. Also got toppy here and started selling right back down below the VWAP, retests the VWAP, and then another sell-off, breaking the low of the day. So again, it looks good now. I know I'm making it seem really easy now on this write-up here, but again, we saw the price action. This is not an easy stock to trade for the long or the short side. Let's look over at Tesla. Again, Tesla yesterday had a great pre-market activity, sold off for the most part, but at the open really squeezed a lot of people all the way back up. Oh, not to the high of the pre-market, but almost halfway, man. 50% on here on this one candle. So beautiful squeeze here. The 1 minute was very nice as well. If you look at it, it gave you a nice pullback here, gets above the VWAP. That's a great entry for a long, and it goes up all the way to 507. So again, Tesla's one of those stocks that has found strength. It did sold off after that. Again, a lot of stocks sold off after they did this pop. You can notice a lot of stock yesterday sold back down. But overall, beautiful squeeze on Tesla on there. Here we have AMD. AMD, and I'm upset about AMD because this would have been a great opportunity.
Carlos, if you go back to Tesla real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Take the 5 minute, zoom out a little bit, and get to the full day. It put a beautiful pennant in there, man. Just a beautiful pennant with a point forming at 500 before it broke out to like 513 for a $13 run there.
Yeah.
And we had it drawn in the room. We were talking about it on that run. There were like 2 or 3 amazing entry points you could have had. Nice. You could have had it, right around 11:30 at the break of the pennant. You could have had the test of the VWAP or moving average once it came down, touched, and started to break back again. Or that one last little pullback right after 1 o'clock there with the 2 red 5 minute candles in the takeoff. Yeah, it was just really a beautiful, beautiful move it made.
Yeah, it sure was, man. Again, another squeeze here. Tesla just continues to be very, very strong. Already active this morning, so we'll definitely keep an eye on it. It's just been fun to watch. Tesla and BYND has been, again, just very active. Obviously, BYND. Very difficult to trade. So here's AMD. So we spoke about AMD yesterday, breaking out of this area on the daily chart. Right, we had this area here, and it did just that at the open. I saw a lot of you guys took a beautiful trade on here. Just look at this amazing clean opening range breakup. Unfortunately, I was not watching this one. I was watching XPO and SIG. And look how beautiful this thing take off. This is exactly what was looking for AMD. Unfortunately, I didn't take advantage of it, but I'm very glad that you guys did. A lot of guys took this trade here, and just look how clean it traded. I mean, just went all the way up to 50. I remember some of you guys were in the room. We were discussing, is it going to get to 50 around this area here? It did just that, broke out nicely above this 49.93 and hit that 50.30. So again, just a beautiful trade. I'm glad you guys were able to take advantage of that. And we're not going to go through all these possible guys, but there's some other great plays here that happened with Shaq, NVIDIA, YNDX, but we're just not going to go through all of them because just so many stocks that were trading well. Norm, what do we have going on for this Friday? Anything exciting that we should be aware of in news-wise? I think I might have lost Norm, or maybe he's on mute.
No, surprising, man. We're in a bull market. We're up a little over 0.25% again today on the gap on the SPY. Around the world, Europe is solidly green. Asia was solidly green. Gold, precious metals, commodities have been up a little bit. Nat gas is down, but oil and everything else is up. So looking pretty decent. As far as news, housing starts came in stronger than expected this morning at 8:30 Eastern. Building permits were a little bit weaker. We've got one Fed speaker at 9 a.m. Eastern. Don't see a lot that'll that might trigger, but then consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. is a pretty big one. That's the read for January. So we'll see how that goes. And that's what I got.
All right, excellent, man. All right, so let's again, SPY just continues to break all-time highs. I mean, this thing's just been, it's just on a tear, just unbelievable, fun to watch. All right, guys, let's look at what we have here on our gappers list. JMIA this morning. All right, what we got going on here? So this stock popped up 4.3, probably a little higher, maybe 6 or 7 when it was up here at 880. 884 high of the pre-market. Had a good day yesterday. Let's look at how that day actually traded. See what it did yesterday. It looks like towards it's just kind of grind all day. Not with a lot of great volume at the open, but you can see here there's just kind of nice trend trade with no volume. Then the volume starts coming in towards that that closer to that power hour. You can see how this thing traded nice with some volume here. But at the moment, kind of selling back down. We do have shares for sure on this one, so it could be interesting. Let me see what the flow is. We have this is, oh, it disappeared. No, here it is, 22,000 on the flow. So a little bit on the lighter side. Is that right? 22,000? Yeah. Wait.
Well, this is a German company, and a lot of times the float on TI is either missing or not exist or incorrect.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no way it has a 22,000
Right.
share float. FinViz has it at 6.75 million.
Okay. All right. So it's still on the low flow side, but yeah, definitely
Still low float.
still very low
Yeah.
flow stock. So we'll throw it on here. Looks very active today. There is shares for short with IB, but again, you want to be careful with this one. You want to be careful shorting these type of stocks. Right now, the ATR doesn't look all that crazy at the moment. ATR for this one looks about 50 cents, so not too bad for a low flow stock, but it is a lower price. So 50 cents is quite a lot for a stock that's trading at $8. So just be aware of that. We'll keep it on here. We'll do some levels for. Let's see how this pre-market activity gets right now. 666,000 shares traded, up 3%. Had a great day yesterday. A slow grinder, but overall, guys, just look at the volume down here. I don't like when these stocks don't have really good volume. Now the best volume it had yesterday was only 8 million shares traded. Go ahead.
One other thing to note on this, it doesn't trade a whole lot of volume. It trades on average about 1.2 million a day. It's got pretty heavy volume right now, and had very heavy volume yesterday. The short float on this per FinViz is 82%.
82%. Wow. Yeah. So let's see what it does, guys. Again, not a fan of these type of stocks, but we'll keep an eye on this one. Next, we have pins here. PINS. What is that doing? So the last couple of days has really ran up pretty good. Let's remove some of these levels here. So we had a nice little breakout here. We had a level right on there. Nice little breakout above 20. Had to put in a very nice bar here. It's kind of been just grinding higher and higher. So we're kind of stuck within the middle. The last 2-3 days, just kind of stuck within this middle of this gap down, right? We had this huge gap down. Remember trading this on this day here. A lot of us did very well there. At the moment, has a very active pre-market activity. 403,000 shares traded and climbing 4.4 up on at the moment. Pre-market activity is not all that great when it comes to pre-market action, right? The actual price action itself, you do have a lot of shares sitting right here, 105. But this is a nicey stock. It tends to open up this way. So we'll keep an eye on that. Very active. Norm, any news on pins this morning?
Well, it came out a couple of days ago that they actually have more users than Snapchat. So Pinterest has kind of been in a decline over the last 12 months, whatever, and they did an IPO much before that. So once they popped, this started earlier this month, and then once that news came out, it's just been grinding. So that's what we got on Pinterest, just continuation play from that previous news.
Yeah. And again, just like the fact
And
that
it looks like it got another upgrade on that news as well. Yeah. So
okay. All right. So it looks like Snapchat is a standard for things to be to be measured by. Let's look at Snap here. So Snap is also up 3.7, 982,000 shares traded. Snap trades a lot of shares. It is heavily traded. So it's a stock that for some reason trades a lot of volume. People like to trade this stock. But it can be very choppy. Over the last couple of days, you can see a nice little run up here. Not the cleanest and greatest daily chart, right? There's no real patterns here, no ABCD pattern opposed to when it was trading here. You can see more better patterns and actually a better flow to it. So, but again, it's just been on a steady climb here right now. It is up 3.7, a million shares traded with a very horrible pre-market activity, price action wise, right? You can see it just seems very choppy in this area, and I really don't see where these million shares are being traded. I see 153 here, another 153 here, but I'm not seeing where this all this volume is being traded at. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it, guys. Breaking out of the area where we had a real tough time was this 17. Remember that? 17 took a real tough time there. He tried to get out a couple of months back. He couldn't. Now went back a couple of days ago. We finally broke out of that, and I see his guys has been making some good highs here. So we'll keep an eye on Snap. Let's look at next one
They
on
got an
this.
upgrade this morning out of UBS.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yep.
So we'll see how that upgrade looks like it's doing them very well. GPS this morning gapping up 2.4, 210,000 shares traded. Now GPS, their daily is, and we talked about this before, is very, very choppy. But when they are in play, they tend to put in a good intraday trading day, right? So we've seen some good trades out of GPS. But again, it's just their daily chart is just a mess. What's the news on these guys today, Norm?
They announced yesterday that they are, this is Gap stores, and they own a few different brands, one of them being Old Navy. They've been in some, they've been having hard times for a while now, and they were talking about spinning off Old Navy. Yesterday it was announced they are not going to spin off Old Navy, and that's what's popping them here.
Okay, excellent. All right, so let's take a look at AZN here. It's the next one this morning. AZN. See what we got going on. All right.
This is just even before you dig into this one, just a heads up. So this is a foreign stock out of the UK, and they are up on some drug news, and it trades terribly.
Yeah, I could tell right here. The daily chart just looks a mess, guys. So again, you want to be cautious because right now, if you look at this stock, right, if you look just at the numbers, everything looks great, right? We're up 2.3, 308,000 shares traded. It's gapping up nicely. But once you start getting into the details and looking to see how this 308 is trading, I mean, you really don't see the volume on here, right? So it's not creating a good pre-market activity. Also, just as we mentioned before, these foreign stocks are more challenging to trade because of the way the daily trades and how the intraday usually does not have great activity. Also, keep in mind, on a regular basis, look how low the volume is, right? 5.2 seems to be like the max on this. So again, it doesn't trade a lot of volume as well. So that's important to also watch. All right, so not the greatest list coming off for gappers list. Let's go over to NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers, and we'll see what you guys have this morning on your end. Let's take a look at AMBI. This one seems very active right now. 1.8 million shares traded so far this morning. Let's check the float on this one. See what we're dealing with here. This is 2.4, right? So very low flow here. So this will be one of the low flows that's very active this morning. As you can see, gapping up 52% right now. Pre-market activity looks great, looks very active. Again, we'll have to see how this develops as we get closer to that 9:30. But this looks like this will be one of the low flows of the day. That looks pretty good. So a nice little gap here, up to 560, high of the day. It is holding midpoint at the moment. You can see the price action here from what the low and highs of the day is right now. So hopefully that can continue to hold here and give some good opportunities for anybody that's going to be trading this low flow stocks. Now the ATR guys here, be very, very careful. If you can see this thing as high as 560 and as low as $4 for a stock that's trading at this price range, you want to just be extra cautious on the number of shares you take there. Next we have TTNP, always on this list, not usually one that trades very good. You can see here daily chart is just a mess. Pre-market action is a mess as well. It has 1.2 million shares traded, but they're definitely not trading any type of a clean pattern here at all. So 14.3 up this morning, but again, just a stock that is really a penny stock. You don't want to be involved with this. VCSH block trade here, 980,000 on a block trade. So again, not much going on there. For anyone that's new, this is what algo-like trading looks like. This one doesn't have the volume, but sometimes you see these type of stocks that have tons of volume, 30 million shares traded. This is what algo pattern will look like right here. So in case for those that are new that have not seen that before, DRRX, also a penny stock, guys. We just skip this one. AMD's on this list. I'm definitely going to be watching AMD. AMD's got 437 already, so setting up for a really good pre-market activity. And just look the way it has been trading the last couple of days. So here, this was yesterday. We talked about it breaking out of this 49, and it did just that in a very beautiful intraday trade here. So looking forward to see what AMD does next. Could be putting in a good continuation. We have a level here of the high of yesterday we can aim for. And again, a beautiful consolidation here of 49. We broke out of that. Let's see what kind of continuation we get here in the next couple of days or so. Eric is up next. Not much going on here. Again, just a couple of block trades. NASDAQ indicator. So again, the markets are up. Tesla is definitely active today. 362. 100,000 shares traded, and we do have a nice little gap down here of 1.2. Not that that's a lot for Tesla the way it's been trading. Looks like the levels we have now are also playing still pretty active. We can keep those levels on here. Pre-market activity, guys, looking very good. Coming down below the previous day close and kind of setting a base at 503 here. So we'll do some levels for this, but Tesla definitely one we want to watch this morning. Looks like on the daily overall, we had a pretty nice run, as you know, with some really good pullbacks to the moving average and then heading higher. Here now, notice that we had two red days, and then continuation. Right here, we kind of have 3 gap downs, a little more towards the bottom. So we'll see if this is getting toppy here. It's going to consolidate, or are we going to just get more strength here, pick up more buyers, and head towards that 550? So either way, it's trading very clean. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. Here is Apple. Apple looks good today, guys. Apple looks really good. Norm, I know you're going to have Apple on your list based on what I'm seeing right now.
I will have Apple.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, on the daily.
This daily looks very nice. Again, possible breakout here off all-time highs. Look at the pre-market activity on top of that. Look how clean this thing is trading. Look at the volume. This is one you definitely want to have on your list. Even if it doesn't break out of this all-time high, it's setting up to put in a good intraday trading based on just the volume and the pattern, the form this is shaping up. And the pre-market looks all good right now, all positive. NASDAQ gainers, AMBI, we do have, this is a low flow of the day, kind of chopping around here between $5 and 480. If it can hold here and give us a nice pop towards the high of the day and then start setting some ABCD patterns, could be a nice one to watch this morning for a possible breakout. SNCA, not doing much, more of a penny stock. IDYA, no volume, guys. Nice pop here, nice rip, but again, just no volume on this one. PRGS, no volume, only 20,000 shares traded. I'm not sure what kind of stock this is, but you can see here it's been trading at 42 and just kind of ramping up. Had a good day yesterday. Very big gap right now, but just with no volume, so it's not anything you wanna have on your list just yet. Play. This is Dave & Buster's. Yeah, so Play has a nice gap today, 9.4. But just not a lot of volume this morning. Could still be an interesting one to watch. Now, Play, it doesn't have the greatest daily chart, guys. Look how choppy it can be. Just again, that's not a clean daily here, but the gap is nice. It is a stock that could trade well if it has some good catalysts on there. So I'm going to throw this down here as a possible because I do like this pop-up that it has this morning. But we just need to get more volume out of that. Let's head down over to Kirk, KIRK. This one here, penny stock, no volume. We'll skip this one. ASRT, also no, not much going on. Penny stock has some volume, but again, look how this pre-market activity is trading. All the volume is really sitting on this one candle here. 95,000 shares traded. FTSV, also no volume. CLSD. As well, no volume. Algo trading here, so just nothing clean on CLSD. All right, Norm, what do you like? I know you like Apple for sure. Anything else on your list that you like this morning?
Yeah, Facebook and Nvidia also look good on the daily. So I'm gonna look at I'm gonna keep an eye on when we narrow down the list we've already created from the gappers that we've discussed, and then I'll be keeping an eye on those 3. One, it wouldn't surprise me if one or more of them have a nice breakouts, depending on what happens in the market. So we'll see.
All right, excellent. I see that Fast is coming up here on our gappers list. Just popped up. Let's see what that is up to. So Fast this morning. Ooh, not the greatest daily. It has a very bad daily chart. So again, I know we had this before in our watch list.
Yeah, it's trading on earnings. It doesn't trade great from my perspective.
Yeah,
at least when I've played it in the past.
Yeah, and a lot of that could be because of the volume too. I mean, look, on a regular basis, you're trading 3.7, which is fine, right? Because you want to see when you're trading like this type of volume here, 28 million shares, and you had a nice little rip here on a beautiful gap up. Now here, you really don't have a gap, that much of a gap, and if you do, it's stuck within this nasty just trading range. So I don't want to be part of that. Pre-market activity doesn't look all that great just yet. It has some good volume, 881. We'll keep it on here, guys. We'll come back to it because I know a lot of you guys mentioned that on both chats. So we'll see what's going on. But again, it's just a stock that doesn't trade very well, so might not make our final list. Most likely not. All right, let's see what else we got, guys. Let's look here in our chat room. All right, Fast. We looked at NVIDIA. We have John G.
TLRD.
All right.
That's another one. Yeah.
All right, let me look at LK real quick, then we'll go back to TLRD. So LK from John. This one has a nice daily, man. This was this could actually be setting up for a nice continuation here, kind of a rip above this 48, what's that, 48, 49, 48, 50-ish area. So this could be interesting. I like the way it's setting up. It has traded well in the past. We had 2 really good days out of this. Kind of a little choppy in this area, but right now it could be setting up nice for another continuation. This thing has had some good news in the past and it's been trading well of some good positive catalysts. And if you look at this chart, man, this thing was trading at 20 bucks back in November, and it has got into a beautiful, nice uptrend here, taking a few pauses here, a couple of breaks. But when it has been ripping, it has done it in some really nice fashion there. So, okay, definitely worth watching. We'll keep an eye on that one. And then you mentioned TLRY, Norm? TLRY?
TLRD.
Oh, TLRD.
Turd.
All right, Taylor Brandt here. TLRD. Yeah, this could also be a good possible. Now, it doesn't have the best daily chart, but we have traded this one in the past, and it has done very well. So again, I know it's a lower price stock, but it's one of those lowest price stock that actually we have had some success trading. So definitely worth watching. I'll throw it on here, guys. TLRD. We'll keep an eye on that one. All right, LK, I like, guys. Yep, we'll keep LK there. MU and Microsoft. Let's look at Microsoft, what we got. Microsoft is going to fall into that Apple, NVIDIA, and Facebook kind of situation. Now, the thing with Apple is, out of all of those, I really like the way the thing with Microsoft, I really like the way Apple trades more better than Microsoft. It's a lot cleaner. The price action is smoother. Microsoft could tend to be a little more choppy. Again, not saying that it's not tradable. You can find some really good opportunities. But the way I'm looking at this now, I think Apple will be a better one to watch this morning. Also, depending on what the SPY does, it's going to determine a lot on Apple, Facebook, and NVIDIA, and also, I believe, Microsoft, unless they have their own catalyst this morning. But the volume is just not all that great right now, as well as the pre-market activity. Let's look at MU, another one here. Also MU, yeah, MU has a great consolidation happening here. Also, you can see between 50A50 and what seems to be 5670, you have a beautiful consolidation happening here and a possible breakout on MU. You got some decent volume. As you know, MU doesn't get a lot of volume. But yeah, I kind of like MU. There's some on here, guys. I know this list looks huge, but there's some on here that do not look great that I'm going to remove before we do levels. But I think MU could be one to watch. I mean, this is a beautiful setup here. Kind of like we saw on AMD yesterday, right? AMD broke out nicely and ran up almost $1 or so. This can also run up to 59. It could be a good target for this one. All right, so NIO, we'll do a few more, guys.
TLRD. And after you got into that, I wanted to dive in here real quick.
Oh yeah, please.
So they're selling a business segment, which is giving them this pop, but they've got a 65% short float. So let's see. I'm gonna have my eye on case. TI says 94%, which is quite excessive.
Yeah,
we'll see. Finviz is 65. We'll see what happens in case it gets a squeeze going. That's what I'm going to be looking for on that.
Yeah, no, this is definitely worth watching with that type of short interest there. All right, let's do a few more, guys. So, what do we have here? NIO is the one we're looking at. NIO. Yeah, NIO has a possible breakout. I just don't like the way this stock usually trades. It's not the cleanest. But it does have a possible breakout here. It's got some good volume, but this volume doesn't mean much on NIO because it always has that volume, right? When over the last couple of days, it's been trading some incredible volume at the pre-market, but does not mean it has done a really good job at the open, trading really good intraday trading. So, not a huge fan of it. Again, I'm not making this list enormous, but I'm gonna throw that on there. So NIO, we'll get a little more details on NIO. We'll look at that one. All right, 3 more from YouTube here. So WDC, guys, no volume, has a nice pop here, could possibly break out, but again, really nothing going on at the moment, so I'm not going to watch that one. QCOM, you gotta be careful if trades very choppy, but this one also, the volume is a little bit lighter, has a possible breakout up 1.3 this morning. Unless it has a catalyst, this is going to be hard to get going. These stocks don't trade all that much volume, and they don't trade all that well intraday neither, unless they have some kind of catalyst giving them a little boost. That's what I have learned from this QCOM, WDC. These stocks tend not to do all that well unless there's something happening that morning. Same thing with IBM, it's down 1%, but again, the volume is extremely low this morning. All right, guys, we have quite a bit. Not a lot looks great on here, so we are going to fine-tune this list in a second. Let's look at one more. Expeditors. This one here is down 8%. I like the drop, but just the volume is not there, so we need more volume on this one. All right, folks, let's go over to announcements. We'll come back. We'll do some more analysis in just a second. But let's get over to announcements, and then we'll come back and do more of that list. I'll fine tune that a little bit more. All right, here we go.
All right, guys. We still have the holiday promotion code active. We're not really promoting it since the holidays are over, but I was asked this morning about it. So you can still use it if you need to. It's 40% off a one-time lifetime membership. It's holidays 19. You can see it there on the screen. No spaces or hyphens or anything like that. Our DAS replay feature is live. If you're using the Bearable Traders version of Sim, if you got the Sim for DAS through us, the replay feature is live. You can check out the forum post. There's info on how to use it, set it up, and all that stuff. Our upcoming success webinars, we've been getting a lot of great feedback on that. We've got them scheduled out for like 2 months now. But here's just a rundown of what we've got going on over about the next 6 weeks. So next week's chart log. Chart log is a journaling software created by 2 of the guys from Bearable Traders, web-based journaling software. So that's next Wednesday. Wednesday after that on the 29th is Naz and Andrew on day trading options. He's had a lot of success with it recently, so they're going to just discuss that. It's not going to be an all-out course. You're not going to be an expert options trader after going to it, but they'll discuss, Naz's experience and some basics of day trading options. Week after that's Jonathan Katz. He's going to be discussing mental prep and routine. Then we'll have our very own Thor Young talking about reading level 2 on February 12th. And then Ed Martin of Average Joe Trading is going to be doing trend trading discussions on 2/19. And excuse me, I duplicated the week there, but it's a 2-part series starting on February 19th. As far as upcoming meetups go, we've got Seattle this weekend on the 18th. So tomorrow night, go see Brian and Andrew in Seattle. And then Andrew's working on putting together a February 2020 meetup in Dubai. Does not have the exact date yet. You do not have to be a member to go to these meetups, but we sincerely appreciate you RSVPing in the forum so Andrew will know how many beers he has to buy for everybody. 1 week chat room trial discount. If you're watching us on YouTube and haven't been in the chat, you can do so at a discount by using the promo code premarket24. No spaces, hyphens, or anything like that. Just premarket24 as it's laid out in the slide. It does not auto renew or turn into any other kind of membership. Carlos and Andrew and I myself are very active on Twitter, as are a lot of the other guys. But follow us on Twitter for Bearable Traders news, trading content and such at Bearable Traders or at Carlos M BBT and at Norm BBT. Also on YouTube, if you subscribe and hit the notification bell, you'll be notified whenever we go live with new content. So thank you guys for watching.
All right, excellent. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's first go through this list and see what we can kind of get out of the way here really quick before we get into levels. So pins is starting to look a little more interesting as well. Again, nice little pop up here. We got some room to run. We got the bottom of this consolidation before it had gap down. So I really like the way that's setting up. We'll take a look at this one. Volume looks great, up 4.5, and they also had an upgrade, analyst upgrade as well, so that's worth watching. Snap is not one of my favorites. We'll do levels on this one. I like the gap 3.5. Love the volume. Obviously, they're trading 1.1 million shares right at the moment. Where are we sitting at when it comes to all-time high? We're at all-time high on Snap. Let's just want to go back here and check. No, we're not. So we've been up to as far as 22 on this one. So we have some levels we can get here. Again, not one of my favorites. We'll keep it on here just for now, but if I find something better in this list here, we'll get rid of Snap. Just for me personally, I think it tends to be a little bit choppy. GPS this morning, pre-market activity is not all that great. I do like the gap. We'll see on the fence on that one. ACZN, this one I'm going to remove, guys. I think actually this is what we're supposed to remove. This is a foreign stock, so it doesn't trade very well. Let's get rid of this one. AMD, I like another possible breakout from yesterday's high, so we'll keep that one. Tesla, you know what? Tesla, I'm on the fence. I want to watch this one because it's going to be interesting, but I'm on the fence, but I'm actually going to take a trade on that one. Apple is a good possible. Facebook, I'm going to remove Facebook. I like Apple out of NVIDIA, Facebook, Apple seems to be the best one here. Fast, this one here, guys, again, I just don't like the way it trades. The daily doesn't look all that great right now. It's stuck within this consolidation period here, so I'm just going to remove this one for the moment. This could be a good possible. We can actually have a possibles list today that we can keep an eye on, so we're going to bring this down over next to play here. I think fast, it can have some opportunities, but we just can't watch so many. We got to watch with the best possible ones. So let's remove fast from our main list here. LK, yeah, LK is nice, guys. This is what you want to see. Beautiful breakout here. Hopefully it doesn't run too much above yesterday's highs. We need to stay around in this area and give us an opportunity to get in here for a long if it's going to squeeze nicely, make some new highs. TLRD also, this could be a good possible. Norm mentioned this has a a very high short interest. So what I would like to watch this on a possible play if it can hit us in the scanners, right? If the turbo breakup can bring this one up here, definitely worth watching. But for the main list, I'm gonna take this one out right now from that list. MU also, again, we got these stocks that have just a great pop opportunity to break out. So I like MU. NIO I'm gonna remove, guys. This one again just tends to be a little choppy. I'm not a huge fan of it, so I'm gonna remove this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We still got way too many. But we can do levels on these, and then actually, you know what? I'm gonna move Snap down to a possible as well. Okay, I think we can do 7, and then as we get closer to the open, right, we can watch how things are developing. If something looks better than another one, you can swap them out for whatever on your secondary list. There's no problem with that at all. Also at the open, right, if you see that stock, because it can happen, right? This stock here pins, looks great, has volume. At the open, no volume comes in. Quickly look at sort through your secondary list and, swap that one out for something else that might be moving a lot better. All right. Okay. So pins start there. High of our pre-market right now sitting at 24.09. So we'll mark that down. Low of our pre-market sitting nicely at 23.40. So that'll be a good one on there. 23.41. And again, as we mentioned, we're kind of right in the middle, well, towards the top end of this gap that we had here. Huge gap down a couple of months ago back in November. Above this high of the pre-market, very close to the bottom wick here of this consolidation. But you can see here on the daily, you have another nice level sitting, I want to say right on here as well, 24.74. And also towards the top of this consolidation, 26.34. Some really good areas that you can mark down. You can see how we have some tests on there between these two levels. Now, again, not the greatest, cleanest daily chart, but you can see by drawing this line on here how well those days were kind of cooperating with that 26.34, or at least that area, right? These levels are an area. Keep that in mind. So that's towards the top. Towards the bottom, we already have the low of the pre-market, and then highs and lows from the last 2 trading days plus the previous day close. Do not need to add any more on this. I think this is perfectly set at the moment. Again, it looks very strong right now. It looks like it's trying to break out of this 24, which is our current high of the pre-market. So we'll see how that takes place in a couple of minutes. GPS. So this one doesn't have the best pre-market activity, but I do like this gap up here. It broke out of a nice area where we had some resistance here over the last couple of days. And then prior to that, we had a very strong level here. This was a very huge resistance area around that 18 that it kind of broke out with a very nice candle here. So I like that as well. Kind of bouncing off this moving average on the daily, 1890, 91, 1890, higher, low of the pre-market, high of the pre-market, 1994. So we'll mark that down. And as we go over here to the left a little, you can see how that 1994, that area has some resistance in the past, a huge rejection and right back down. And we kind of got that rejection happening today. So let's see if we can hold to that low of the pre-market. Or we're going to bounce from here. We're going to collapse back down to the previous day close. So we got some good levels in here. Before that 1994, there is an area here where you also had a change in direction. 1964, yeah, right in here, 1954. You want to mark that down. You did have a change in direction on there. So if this thing decides to go back up, you might have a possible slowdown at that level. Above that, the last level on here will be this 2054, very clean level on here before we had this huge gap down back in June. Below the previous day close, guys, we have plenty. Since this thing has been consolidating in here, you have the highs and lows listed on here. Again, GPS does not have the best daily chart. You can see how choppy this is, but we have had success trading GPS when it has been in place. So today definitely has got some volume, 244, up 2%. Pre-market activity not the greatest, so this right now will be towards the end of our favorite list out of this watch list here. AMD is looking great, guys. I love the fact that we have a possible breakout here happening above the high from yesterday. Let's go over to the left and get some levels towards the top here on AMD. Here we go. I know we have some stuff up here, do we? Yeah. Oh, yes, maybe so. I know we're not at all-time high. Oh, we're going way too back now. We're going too back. What is the weekly chart giving us here? This is too much. Weekly will be F. Oh, are we at all-time high? I didn't think we were. But maybe we are. Well, guys, at least 52-week high. Oh, pretty close here. Yeah, we're not going this. I'm gonna treat this as all-time high. It is all-time high. Okay, thank you guys. Yeah, so this is actually very, very interesting on AMD. So possible breakout here to create a new all-time high. Obviously, no more levels up here, so nothing that you have to mark. So towards the bottom, just mark down this 46.70. I don't think we'll get there. You have plenty of other levels you have to go through before you get down there. As you know, AMD doesn't move that much anyway. Very rare that AMD will give you, a $2 drop, $4 drop on a on the chart. So let's just, oh, hold on, I'm on the weekly. Let's look at the daily. Oops. Here we go. Yep. Oh, still good level. Yeah, 46.70, still a great level here. So again, very rare that AMD is going to go through all these levels and hit this moving average here, but that is the only level you can really add on here. Everything else is set for you. So again, like AMD, love the volume starting to come in. We get into that magic number 700,000 before the pre-market, but already we see a lot of good volume on AMD. So Tesla's one that I'm really on the fence on because although it's been trading pretty well, giving us a good pre-market activity, it has not been easy to trade at this price range, right? So just be cautious with it. I'm not saying it's as hard as difficult as B, Y, and D or as challenging, but it does have a little bit of challenging in trading this stock. So right now, just removed all the levels we had yesterday. Highs and lows of the two last trading days have created some good levels here. We have this one here, lows here next to that previous day close. This one here, the low from yesterday, also creating a nice level here. The only one you should really add is down here, 474. If we lose these levels, that could be an area where you can find some support. But overall, actually, you could also mark the low of the pre-market, 503.09. You can mark that as well. But again, you got some really good levels here on Tesla already. This might be one that's I might not have on my list. So let's just see how when we get closer to that 930, what we do with Tesla here. Apple, guys, possible breakout, has some really good volume. We have some great levels for it now. The only level I'm going to mark down here is this 318.45, which should be our all-time high at the moment. So again, Apple has been trading very well. Look at the support towards the bottom, previous day close, highs and lows from the last two trading days. You got your moving average here around 310, and it's up quite a bit with some good volume. So hopefully Apple can break out of this and create a new all-time high. Definitely has a great trading pre-market activity at the moment. LK is holding, putting in some weird wicks here, but that's okay. Probably some trades being dropped that are just being recorded at the moment, but overall, the daily, guys, looks really good here. We had a nice consolidation area here. We had a couple of green days that were traded very well, and the intraday on LK has been great as well. So high of the pre-market sitting at 49.40. So we'll mark that down. And what we're looking for this one, hopefully to hold these moving averages, hold the previous day close, and give us a squeeze above that 49.40 will be great on LK. So we'll definitely keep an eye on this. Aside from these two wicks that you see here, guys, and again, probably some orders were dropped that created that. This has a very clean pre-market activity, so hopefully it can continue to do that. Here's MU. MU, another one that also has a possible breakout. Our high right now of the pre-market sitting at 58.29, very close to where the price action is. A better level for us to keep an eye on will be the high of this area here, which is 58.48. So right, this is the final level of resistance you have on MU. Again, another one that we've just been consolidating. The market is going to dictate a lot today. If the market can put in a good move here, a strong move to end the week, you got the MUs, the AMDs, the pins could get that little boost they need to get going. All right, here's pins. It's breaking out of 24.09. I'm still going to keep that 24.09 here because you see how you have some resistance here happening on the 5-minute on the pre-market. So we'll keep that on there, but hopefully it doesn't run too much before that 9:30 mark. All right, guys, so this is what we have. I think we have a decent list. I think we have also some good possible. Snap, TLRD, Fast. Fast is okay. And we have Place not doing much right now, but we'll see if we can get the volume. It has a pretty nice pop here at 10%. So again, another nice list. We started off with not liking what we had, but now we seem like we're kind of getting into a nice flow here with what we're watching. Let's look at these slow flows. So JAMIA is bouncing back a bit here from $8. I'm not going to be watching this one, guys, but you do have a level here, high of your pre-market at 888, and the low sitting at around 790. So you do have some levels there bouncing off of that 790. Pretty nice, some good volume today, but this is a 2.4, I believe, million shares No, yeah, 2.4. I think TI is wrong, showing 22, but it's 2.4, so be careful. IMBI, also another low flow, just kind of consolidating around this $4.95 range here. If it can rip here, it can get going. It looks like it's finding some support in this area. Again, another one that I'm not going to be watching today, but this one's also very active with 2.1 million shares traded. It's a it's great volume for a low flow. All right. Yes, Abil, thank you for reminding me. So on Monday, guys, we are going to have a class basics on that. So real basic stuff, guys. Basically 101 stuff. So after our class 1, which is at 8 p.m. Eastern time, that'll go for about an hour. At 9 p.m. Eastern time, we are having a DAS Basics 101 class, more of a Q&A. So if you have any questions, you're struggling with something on DAS, I'm going to have my screen up. We can go over basic stuff, guys. Any questions as basic as you can possibly think, as entering an order on the montage, how to set up your montage, your layouts, how to set up charts. We're going to go through an hour of that. So if you have any questions in regard to your DAS and how to do something, definitely join this class. I'm going to be hosting it myself. We'll start at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll go into about 10 o'clock or so. So come with your questions, and we'll definitely, we can even talk a little bit about the DAS replay as well. So if you're having problems with DAS replay, we can kind of show you how that works and some tips and tricks on how to get that going and how you can take advantage of that. So again, that will be on Monday.
Monday, you've got class 1 at 8 and then that Q&A at 9, right?
That is correct, yes.
And just a reminder that the market is closed on Monday for Martin Luther King Day. So the room will not be open. We will not be broadcasting on YouTube. We'll see you guys Tuesday morning.
Yep. Great reminder. All right, guys, so that is what we have. Quick recap. We have pins. Again, moving nicely here, breaking off that 2409. GPS, not the best pre-market activity, not the best daily. It has traded very well before in the past. I do like this stock. Hopefully, it can give us something good at the open, so we'll keep an eye on that. If this one doesn't get active and get going, we have some other ones down here that we can replace it for. AMD, AMD, come on, don't do that to us. Hold on. Wait for us. So we have 416, obviously probably a transaction being recorded here. This is probably not the price action coming down and coming back up. So when you see that here,
that's an out of sequence print from the close yesterday. Is what that looks like.
Exactly. And I've been in a situation, guys, where let's say I had my order entry here and I had an actual physical hard stop here, and this will happen and it will not stop you out. Your P&L doesn't even go down to show you unrealized of a loss of here or here. So this is just a transaction being posted here. But hopefully it can wait for us and doesn't run too much. So Tesla, what's going on with Tesla? Also consolidating here. I think Tesla will be fun to watch. Again, a little more difficult to trade, but definitely active this morning. Apple, same thing here. That's another transaction being recorded. But Apple also has a great possible breakout towards that 318. LK as well, good consolidation here. Hopefully it can hold. If it collapses down, it can also be a good short below the previous day close. But I think the move here with less resistance will be towards the top here. MU, same situation, guys. Look, another one on here as well. MU also possible breakout of 58.48. Just be on the lookout for these opening range breakup today. Will be great on any of these stocks. Also look for the 1 minute to fine tune your entry as we talk about in classes 4. All right, 9:20, guys. 10 minutes before the open. Take care on YouTube. Have a great trading day today. Remember, this is a holiday weekend, so the market is off. So trade safe, trade well, be disciplined. Go into your weekend knowing that you follow your rules and you were able to be disciplined throughout your trading day today. So no FOMO, no forcing anything. And if you're having a great month, like a lot of us are, right? I put a post up on Twitter asking, what do you think? Is it a bullish because of the bullish market? And Norm had a great response because everybody's putting that it's because of the bullish market. A lot of the times we're shorting stuff, right? So just be aware of that.
If half my trades are shorts, how is it the bullish market that's helping my account?
Absolutely. So take care, guys. Trade safe. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Remember, the market's closed on Monday.
Take care, guys. Trade safe. See you Tuesday. Thanks for joining us.